Hey guys, Axel here. Um, Today I'm going to do something a little different. Um, I've been I'm gonna be honest with you. I've had not a clue what to do with this channel for ever since December. December was a good time to talk about Star Wars, but um, there's so many other Star Wars channels out there that you'll hear from before you even hear from me, and um, I still want to go through like all like 10 movies that they have and review them, and I'll probably wear the stormtrooper mask for that. But yeah, I today. So I was thinking about just doing like this video game blog thing, and I'll probably branch out to other things, like anime that I've watched recently, and probably movies as well. That Sonic movie just came out as of recording this, um, and just to get this off my chest, I really liked it. Jim Carrey stole the show. Sonic was great, and I really hope that the movie gets a sequel. Um, yeah, as you see, I'm not at the bar either. The bar is all the way over there, and this is actually kind of more of the game room part of the basement. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna kind of split this up into three parts right now. First, I want to talk about my history as a gamer, just so you know me, just to kind of get this. And I'll probably throw in a couple random stories, maybe about anime sometime, and um, you know, or maybe like do a console at a time. I was actually like something that I was thinking about doing was making a video about basically my story with the 3DS, where I, you know, put on the Stormtrooper helmet and just kind of talk about that through a microphone. Um, because for me, it's actually easier to like write down on a script and read it off and then edit it in post. I'm not very good at improv. I usually do a lot and stuff like that. So and plus I can't, when I'm writing something down, it's easier for me to think of like a synonym and not, being put on the spot to think of one. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to, in videos, you don't want to use the same word too much. Um, so yeah. In terms of anime news, um, I recently picked up Shakugan no Shana 2 or season 2. I watched the first season and I really liked the voice acting. I mean, they had Naraku as the little rock guy. I don't remember his name. It's been like 2 years since I've seen the Shakugan no Shana season 1. So I'm picking up the second. So I picked up the second season again, and to find out that Funimation owns it now, and they changed the voice actors. And I was like, you had Naraku from Inuyasha as the Rock, and now you have this Kent Williams. I checked the credits. I think his name was Kent Williams, but he didn't do a bad job, by the way. It was different, you know. I'm not very good at voice acting changes like that. I like consistency. But anyway, so my history as kind of a gamer, and honestly, the reason why I want to do this is because um, gaming has been a part of my life since before I can even remember. Like, people remember Star Wars before they were born. Like, I can remember a time before I was into Star Wars. I can. Before that, it was Thomas the Tank Engine, by the way. Nintendo. What else? And VeggieTales. I was really little, okay, but um, those were the things I really liked when I was a kid, and I didn't get into Star Wars until I was like 8 or 9. I don't remember. I remember it was 2004 before Revenge of the Sith came out. And in fact, it's kind of funny. Sometimes I actually do the time. Like I kind of tell time by the time I got into Star Wars. Like I tell you when something happened before or after I got into Star Wars. Is I'm a dork. But yeah. Back then, I mostly remember playing Mario Party. I wasn't very good at it, and Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time. Um, but back then it was very different, and I'll get into that a little bit. And I also remember playing Smash Brothers a lot. Again, a little different. Smash Bros. It was always like a virtual playground for me when I was a kid, you know. So back when I was really little, I wasn't concerned about beating games. I was just concerned. I just liked roaming around in them and playing in them. You know what I mean? And that's actually a reason why I liked Zelda 1 way more than A Link to the Past, and even Ocarina. Like, I didn't really. It's kind of hard to explain because with like Ocarina of Time, there was a finished file that I could just walk around in. You know what I mean? As long as I didn't save, that was the one rule. I couldn't save my like anything that I did. But that was easy. You know, that was easy. That was an easy enough rule. But Zelda, you know, the original one, you picked it up and you could walk anywhere. Just grab the sword. You know what I mean? So that was really awesome. I mean, obviously, you know, I played Mario Brothers and Mario Brothers 3, but again, you know, I just liked running around. You know, I just liked going the one direction for some reason. I'd call myself a dumb little kid, I'd say. But that's mostly because that's kind of the other and sorry, I'm trying to think because I've thought about this a lot during this week, and now I'm being put on the spot. It's kind of hard to get my thoughts together. But when I was a kid, and this also goes into the dumb little kid thing, I very much liked what I liked, and there wasn't much else for me. Was my thought process. The only reason I really got into Star Wars was because one time I was bored. Like, I had gotten to the age where Thomas the Tank Engine. Well, I was getting a little old for Thomas the Tank Engine. I still appreciate the show. Don't get me wrong. It's Thomas all the way. But but in all seriousness, so I didn't watch that as much anymore. VeggieTales was really only like a Sunday thing. It was like, you know, we'd always watch VeggieTales on Sunday by that point, and that was because my parents kind of made that a tradition. And what else? I don't think I was really watching anything. I just remember being really bored. We had all these consoles around. 64, yeah, the GameCube. We had a PS2 at the time. I don't think we didn't have very many games for PS2, but what else? I mean, Super Nintendo. Although I have a I had a love-hate relationship with Super Nintendo. I'll tell you that another time. And then like an NES, and I was bored. Game Boy, you know, that doesn't even count the portable systems. I think I was just kind of exhausted from all of it, you know, from Nintendo. So I wanted to expand my horizons. So then my dad said, I got a movie I think you'd like. And I watched The Phantom Menace in 2004. I think it was mid 2004, maybe as much as late 2004, because I remember there being snow outside. And So then I was hooked like that. I was into it, and it took me multiple viewings to get their names, and I was hooked. I'm still a giant Star Wars fan. That I can tell you the full story another time. Basically when and I watched every Star Wars movie, but basically what I'm trying to say is that gaming has been kind of on and off. I've been on and off of you know playing a lot because for a long time after that, it was Lego Star Wars. I really tried to 100 complete Lego Star Wars 1 and Lego Star Wars 2. And I mean like multiple versions of Lego Star Wars 1 and 2. At one point, I had the DS, the Game Boy Advanced, and the GameCube version of Lego Star Wars 2. And that's what I was doing it as of gaming when I was like 9, 10, and even 11. Same thing goes with Lego Star Wars 1. I had the GBA. I still have the GBA, and I think my little brother ended up with the GameCube version we had. But I really enjoyed those games. I like the second one to me today is still probably the best. It might be a little bit dated compared to some of the other Lego games that have come out, but to me it's still my favorite. And then obviously Complete Sagas. But when I was around, I mean, there's also like a whole other like Pokemon. I haven't even touched upon that. I was a huge Pokemon fan. I'm more really just liked Gen 1, and I've never actually played Gen 2, by the way. I got a little while into Gen 3, but I don't remember ever getting really far. I just got stuck because, I didn't like reading. I think I've stated that before. I didn't like reading. And then when I was around 12, I think when I was 11, like I made fun of Dragon Ball, and then my oldest brother showed me like episode 3 or 4 of Dragon Ball. It was the one where they met Master Roshi, okay? Where they met Master Roshi, and because because around that time I started hitting the time of your life when you notice things. So I blamed Master Roshi on that for forever. Like I think I was like 16 when no, I was like 15. I was like 15 when I realized that what had happened. When I realized like the past like 3 years before, I'd been blaming Master Roshi for something that comes pretty natural. I thought it just humored me when I was like 15. But anyway, yeah. So then, but again, I was like really hooked. But he showed me it, and I was really hooked on Dragon Ball for years. And then basically from then on, it would go Star Wars, Dragon Ball Z, and like Nintendo, mostly Zelda. Like Zelda is probably was my favorite, is still probably my favorite Nintendo franchise. Sonic was also a big deal in there somewhere, but yeah. And then right around the time I was like 15, I just kind of thought to myself, okay, well, I'm a huge fan of Zelda, but I've only played like 3 or 4 games. And, okay, maybe more than that. I hadn't really played Wind Waker, at least beaten it. Like, beaten. Okay? Keep that in mind. Because I hadn't beaten Wind Waker. I didn't beat I think I had beaten Twilight Princess. I had beaten Ocarina of Time when I was 12, and I think I did it twice. I think I beat it twice. I hadn't done Majora's Mask. I'm going backwards here. I had beaten Zelda because I did a Let's Play on it. Um, there was another Zelda 2. I hadn't played. I still haven't played any DS titles, and I don't think Link. If I remember correctly, um, Link Between Worlds wasn't a thing yet, but I hadn't beat Link to the Past yet. So I kind of made it my goal to go back and play every single Zelda game. And then I'd say that that's the moment I started really kind of going back to older games, starting to play them. It all started with Zelda, of course, right? But one day when I was like a year or two, I think it was 2 years later. I think I was about 17. I started just evaluating like kind of like my life in terms of gaming and in anime and then just some other stuff, and I realized that I really had like basically for all of my childhood, I stuck to what I knew and what was kind of safe. Um, Kind of like the safe zone, if you will, because I did branch out and do because I got into few things like Dragon Ball Z. Like I said, I can remember a time before I didn't like Dragon Ball Z. You know what I mean? But I still kind of, but that just kind of became part of the comfort zone, if you know what I mean. Same thing with Zelda and Mario. I actually hadn't played a Metroid game until recently. You know, same thing with like Punch Out, F Zero. I've already stated that I played Mario and Pokemon, but they were all just kind of a part of the safe zone, and I wanted to expand from that. I wanted to get out of that. So so then I really started watching like AVGN, and I didn't find people like Metal Jesus until a while later. But I started watching the AVGN because that's where you start to find old games. But I just started kind of paying attention to which games were decent and which ones weren't. Sorry. Kind of getting over a cold. And what was it? And so if the game was like good and I thought it at least looked interesting and worth my time, I kind of mentally put it in my head that okay, this one you know would be a good one to try out. And and yeah, so that's been accumulating for about since I was 17. So let's see. Games I so that's kind of the history. Kind of. I mean, it's a part of it. It's a part of the history, because I can, like I said, I could probably go into consoles but that'd take forever, and it's already almost 19 minutes. So basically, what I have in this notebook is Dragon Ball Fighter Z practice routine. I wanted to start getting a little more competitive in that. It hasn't happened, by the way. Sorry. But oh, I think it's over back here. I really should have put this in here too. But it also has a giant backlog, if you will, of games, and I'll kind of show you. It's got a whole backlog, and then there's another page behind this. I think I have about almost 60 games inside here, and I haven't beaten very many, so alright, so that was kind of the history, but so I'm going to go into a couple of recent pickups, and then I'll tell you kind of what I'm experiencing now with, and maybe what I've experienced last time. All of this has happened since Christmas. Well, first off, I got Dragon Ball Super Season 2. It's on the shelf over there. I don't feel like showing it, but I do want to talk about it real quick. Season 2 was hilarious. It had me, the first part of Season 2 had me laughing my butt off. It was awesome. The second half got a little boring with the Frieza fight, but I also was hoping that that they would fix a problem of Super Saiyan Blue where it just kind of came out of nowhere, and they didn't really fix that. Anyway, recent pickups. So I'm going to start with this one. I got this one, Shenmue 3. I played the first two basically all throughout 2019. Not that they were like super extensive games, especially by today's standards. But, you know, these are definitely games you take your time on, and I wanted to do that for Shenmue. And so I kind of known for a while that they were making a third from Adam Koralik, and I wanted to pick it up. Shenmue was also a game that I've just kind of recently gotten into, sort of recently, because I actually got the remix version. They're on the shelf back here. Back when they first came out in like August 2018 or something like that. So that was the first one I picked up, and then actually just before that, I got Mario and the Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Sorry, I can never remember the name of that. But yeah, this is actually my main console experience right now. It's the crossover nobody asked for, but it's the one I'm glad they did so far. I've been really liking the game. And then over Valentine's Day weekend, my wife got me Resident Evil 2 Revelations 2? Resident Evil Revelations 2. Yeah, there you go. I haven't played this one yet. Shenmue, is actually still sealed, so I obviously haven't played that one. And then also, just 2 days ago, she also picked me up Dragon Ball Heroes. It's a tactical card game. I think I said I wanted this one on the 3DS or something. I don't even know if it is for a 3DS, come to think about it, but you know, so she got me the Switch version. We needed more games for the Switch, really. But and then literally today, I dropped some money on these. Again, games I've played when I was a kid, but I've never beaten. Except for this one, I have not played that one. Good game. That's all I can say about it. I mean, you know, from what I've played of it, obviously, from what I remember playing of it, because it's been over 10 years now. But and then this one, again, I'm a recent Metroid fan, and I knew that this existed. This was not one I thought I was really going to pick up, but you know, Metroid game I've been playing really opened me up to that. So that's really all I've picked up. I mean, like I mentioned, Shakugan no Shana, Season 2. I also got I left it upstairs. I really should have grabbed it. But I also re-picked up, keep that in mind, Noragami, Noragami Stray God or something like that. I forget the subtext of it, but it's Noragami manga number 2. I actually owned it before, but there was a time where my 3DS was stolen. This is actually stylus. This is actually my second one, and as you see, it's kind of dinged up a little bit. I carry it around. I only recently found out that this is a rare one, and I shouldn't do that. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah. But there was a time where my 3DS was stolen, and I spent like an entire year not playing anything on the go because I didn't really. No, I did a little bit because I had my Game Boy Advance SP, but I didn't really game much play the portable games much because my 3DS was stolen. But with that, it wasn't like they just stole the 3DS and walked away. They actually stole like movies from like I left my I usually carry a bag around with me, and when I go to work and such, sometimes to family events, it's kind of like my to-go pack. Like that's where I keep my 3DS bag. It's where I keep the notebook of my backlog games. It's where I carry my laptop if I have it with me. I usually don't, but there's been times where, like, I usually edit these videos at work. So, but yeah, so it was, so like I said, they stole my 3DS. Probably inadvertently. Because they also got DVDs, they also got, I don't think they got any CDs though. I don't think they got any CDs, but they did get like a ton of DVDs that we were keeping in there. And they stole my bag. I haven't heard. I filed a police report right when I haven't heard anything in like 2 years, so I've kind of lost hope. But I was actually thinking about calling them to see if they found it, um, but yeah. So, what I've been playing recently, well, like I said, Mario and the Kingdom Battles. Before that, my main console experience was Resident Evil 4. And also, well, there's actually been a few of them because, like, I played Resident Evil 4, and then right after that, I went to Uncharted 1, and then right after that, and actually, this is the actual last game, was Resident Evil 2. Not Resident Evil 2. I'm an idiot. Uncharted 2. And I really enjoyed those. But I stopped at number 2 because I didn't want to get tired of it. Because it's like watching a show for way too long. You just kind of start getting tired of it. And I really didn't want the fatigue to hit me. So I just quit playing Uncharted for a while. But phenomenal games. I definitely recommend them. And then also I've been playing Rogue Squadron 2. I know the case is black and white. I just beat it. I beat it and it was nice. Give me a second. Crap. That's why I have them on the floor right here. And my last portable experience was Omega Ruby. And the thing is with like Pokemon is that my experiences usually go collect Pokemon along the way, use the 6 that you really like, and once I beat the Elite Four, I kind of call myself done. Mostly because like there's not much after the games, and I just don't see a point in doing them. Pokemon Sun and Moon actually got the closest with this, and I really congratulate them for that because I was really interested because I heard that people actually challenge you after you beat the Elite Four. But I ultimately skipped out on it because I kind of wanted to just move on. But with Pokemon Omega Ruby, I kind of made myself a kind of challenge for me because again, like when I usually play Pokemon games, it's usually I usually have like a Rattata or Raticate, a Gyarados, and a Pikachu on my team. That is literally half the party. And with this one, I didn't want Trico or Chikorita as my starter, so I chose Mudkip. So there wouldn't be a point in having Gyarados on my team. And so then I was like, well, if I'm not going to have Gyarados, kind of the meat of the team, I might as well not have Raticate, which is actually my favorite Pokemon, and I might as well skip out on Pikachu too. So I caught all of my Pokemon kind of out of the comfort zone, and this is probably the most fun I've had with a Pokemon game in years. It's a little easy, but so sometimes you want to get out of your comfort zone with Pokemon. Alright, so, but the most recent one, that was just the one like 2 games before. The most recent one is Metroid Fusion here on the GBA. I had a ton of fun with this. I got really frustrated at it, but it's such a fun game. I don't know if I'd recommend it to newcomers to Metroid, like I was. You might want to go for Zero Mission. I withheld judgment from that because I haven't played another Metroid game. But it's a really good game. There's a few bosses that weren't really well designed because they just kind of threw you at them, and I didn't know what to do, so I actually had to look it up. But it was a good game. It was a lot of fun. The storyline was a little confusing because, again, I haven't played another Metroid game, but whatever. Here, let me get you... Sorry, battery dying. That's really not a good spot for your Ultra Sabers collection, buddy. I'm talking to myself, sorry. Little technical difficulties on the show. I'll cut that part out, it's okay. I'm gonna move you just a little bit. There. Sorry, the cord was being pulled. So, anyway, Metroid Fusion. Yeah. It's a really fun game. I haven't played another one. I recommend, if you've not played a Metroid game, play one. You might like it. I have not tried Metroid Prime yet. I actually have that right here. It's a Blockbuster copy. But I haven't played another Metroid game. So just from what I've played, it's really good. Bloody difficult though. So, you know, keep that in mind. So I think that's about it, guys. I think that's about it this time. Unless I can think of anything, which I can't. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for taking your time to watch this long vlog of me rambling on about stuff. So I hope you all have a good day.